So Pepite company is based in Belgium, and I am CEO of the company and co-founder of the company. We have more than 10 years of experience in applying predictive analytics application for industry, manufacturing industry. And well, I'm really happy to share with you our experience in this field of analyzing operational data to improve performance and to drive plants to leaner operation. Just a little bit of story. I don't know if you already seen this image. This is the first hard disk that has been manufactured by IBM, and it was in the 50s, and this is 5 megabytes of storage, which could be considered as big data at this time, which sounds a little bit ridiculous when you see that now the amount of data that you can store in an iPhone or a smartphone or a USB key. And obviously, manufacturing industry and process industry is storing a lot of data. For example, a pulp and paper plant can archive more than 10,000 measurements per second, and they are doing that, you know, in many plants. So you could imagine that there is a big opportunity to analyze this data, and it will be growing because now with the Internet of Things and all the smart sensors that you can easily include in the infrastructure of plants, there is really big opportunities. But I mean, it's not so easy. I mean, you have a different silo of data source in a plant, and probably that the silo of operational data is the biggest one, but probably also the one where you don't have a lot of application, and basically nothing is really done. And one of the roadblocks of this is because people, they don't like to change in industry, and they have not a lot of time, so they just have their own business. And there is still a lot of work to educate people to use analytics. And it's too bad because it can be really useful to predict drift in performance and to avoid critical situations and develop early warning system. I don't know if you ever heard about these canaries that were used by miners in order to avoid, critical situation in mines. This is really what analytics can provide for operational point of view. So detect drift of performance and also detect a critical situation that you can embed then in a real-time dashboard, right? Just to monitor in real time what is your energy performance and diagnose in real time why you have a drift compared to the best performance that you can have given this situation. Another roadblock in industry is that even if you collect a lot of data, it's still very tricky to get this data from the IT system because it's really complex system, old system first. We have developed quite a lot of system to try to get this data out. But fortunately, technology will help us quite quickly because with smart sensor, now you can really collect very easily the data. And when you are looking at, the data that you have in a plant, this is typically what you have. So a bunch of trends that you need to manage in order to provide some intelligence for lean operation. So try to improve the performance of the system. So it's not the only input that we need. It's very important to understand also the business and plans and that's why we try to turn engineer into data scientists in our company because it's really critical to know what's behind the data and what we are working about. So another point is really to engage people in plants because they don't know about analytics. So it's really good to do a qualitative analysis or qualitative analytics with operator that will give you insight of where to look in the data. And then combining this qualitative approach, we combine that with quantitative approach where we use algorithm on historical data. And this is where you have it should be a little bit faster, I think. I am stuck with my operators. This is me, by the way. So algorithm, we need to trust them, of course, because they will provide significant information hidden in the data, but you need also to cross-check what the algorithm tell you with what operators tell you, because this is also the good value that we find in an analytics project in industry. And at the end, you will have to provide real-time dashboard for operators, like you have a real-time dashboard that tells you if you are consuming too much oil with your car, and maybe change gear if necessary. Training people is very important as well, because there is a lot of education to do in the industry. Even engineers don't know about, this kind of magic toolbox, which is data mining. And operators, of course, we have to train them in order to use the result. In our experience, we have noticed that we can save more or less 15% of operational costs. So typically in an industry, we have saved several millions regarding energy efficiency, which is one of the big points where we are talking about lean energy. So thank you very much. I hope that it was clear enough.